I have a large immigrant population in my district, in particular in the Coachella Valley, that have been extremely frightened, obviously, over the past few years about their status, about being deported, that are really some of the hardest working human beings that I've ever seen, that don't make a lot of money, are looking for assistance. And one of the beautiful things about the Coachella Valley that I represent proudly, cities like Rancho Mirage and Palm Desert and Coachella, Blythe, is that many of the nonprofits have stepped up, and many of these consultants have stepped up to help this vulnerable population that don't have the financial resources to engage an attorney or to engage in some of these more expensive services, so that they can better understand what their options are. And I want to strongly commend my colleague from Imperial County for two reasons. The first reason is, over the past 4 years, I thought I gave the longest floor speech on the Senate floor. But I have now been surpassed by my wonderful colleague from Imperial County. But not only was his speech long, I felt it was very articulate. I thought it was very passionate. And I'll be honest with you, I came on the floor not really knowing how I was going to vote on this issue. And I also want to commend our newest senator for standing up and very articulate in her views and sharing the plight of her grandfather. You know, in every profession, we see snake oil salespeople that take advantage of people. It's really unfortunate. And we need to do the best that we can to ensure that all of our citizens are not ripped off, especially our elderly citizens, our disabled citizens, and our immigrant citizens. And I think that by passing this bill today, we are going to be taking options off the table for them, some of the affordable options that they have no alternative. Otherwise, if they don't see these options, what many have done in the Coachella Valley is they've picked their families up, and on their own they either move back to Mexico, or many of them have moved to Mesa, Arizona, and have engaged in agricultural jobs there without the threats that they feel here in California. And as a result, our ag communities throughout my district, including the southwestern part where we have a lot of wineries, there's not enough people to pick the fruit. We're picking wine grapes right now. There's not enough people to pick the grapes. So maybe we may end up with a lot of port in Temecula this year, because grapes are going to be sitting on the vines longer than they should, gathering sugars, and there's not a whole lot more you can do with those grapes other than make sweet wines with them. This is a humanitarian issue. We have people that just don't do this for a living. These are people that do it as a passion. It's a humanitarian intervention that we are trying to decimate with this bill. All these nonprofits that are in support of the bill are still going to be there whether we pass this bill or we don't. I think as we move forward into the new year, and I hope to see many of you back here in the next session, is that we work to refine the credentials of those that are giving those services, so that somebody has the faith to know that when we're getting advice, that they're getting it from a bona fide person that is licensed and held accountable for their advice. And certainly, many of them are going to need to have legal services, but there are many services that they can obtain without legal services in their initiation, to find out where they stand and how they can stay and how they can work and how they can support their families. So for those reasons, my friends, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's refine the system that's in place today, and let's give those professionals the tools that they need to protect our immigrant communities, to understand what their rights are, and to allow them to continue to work in our beautiful state. I urge a no vote.